What's going on, Guardians? It's Tizzle here. So I'm unable to play the game today because of all the server issues. So I figured why not look into some of the new Godrolls. So the first ones I'm going to be starting with are the ones with the Dealer's Choice Origin trait, which are the ones found in the Pale Heart from the Final Shape campaign. So there's 9 total, but we're not going to count Kvostov because as you can see, there is no random rolls. So we're just going to look at these 8, starting with Bold Endings, which is a heavy burst hand cannon in the stasis slot. So very similar to Warden's Law. That's kind of its direct competition. So it's the 2-round burst hand cannon. So looking at the perks, I'm just going to go over a few of the new ones first so that you can see some of these new perks. So the first one is Strategist. Final blows with this weapon generate class ability energy. Activating your class ability briefly improves this weapon's stability. So this is kind of like Demolitionist or Pugilist, but for your class ability. So it could be really good on something like a Dranger's Lash Titan because you're trying to always get your barricade to suspend enemies. So there's definitely some plays you can make with this perk for sure. Also like the Clone Strand Hunter, especially with like 6 Coyote or something. So yeah, maybe some unique utility with that one. Air Trigger, increased ammo reserves. When airborne, accuracy and reload speed are increased, but target acquisition is decreased. So kind of a nothing perk, maybe PvP oriented. To the Pain, while this weapon is equipped, taking damage increases handling and aim assist until the weapon is stowed. Taking more damage increases this effect. So this is a really nice dueling perk, though I don't know how many people are really using these 2-round burst hand cannons in PvP, but it could be good depending how much aim assist that gives. And then that's it for the new perks. Attrition Orbs, I don't love personally, but you could make orbs just for hitting shots. Loose Change, again, I don't think it's that great. And then Rapid Hit is always nice in PvE or PvP, so that's a good perk. But for me, I'm going Headstone for sure. I love Headstone on hand cannons, and yeah, that being in the left slot is really, really nice. Axial Lacuna can get it in the right slot. But this one has it in the left, and then you could pair it with something like Demolitionist. Obviously, there's lots of good stasis builds that revolve around your stasis grenades. So this is, really nice synergy. Desperate Measures, you can get up to a 30% damage boost, and just getting an ability kill or a couple can give you that right away, so you don't even need weapon kills. So that's a really nice perk. I'm a big fan of Desperate Measures. Dragonfly is very interesting with Headstone. You could like get a crit kill and cause that explosion, and then that might be able to blow up the crystal. So yeah, a very unique role right there. I would definitely love to try it out or see it. Moving Target, kind of just PvP oriented. Rapid Hit Moving Target. Rapid Hit Eye of the Storm could be good. Even this To the Pain could be really good with Moving Target or Eye of the Storm, especially Eye of the Storm, because you're kind of double dipping on like taking damage and then gaining like aim assist and stuff, so and accuracy. So that could actually be really nice for PvP. Collective Action is good in certain builds, and this season we do have some artifact mods kind of centered around our elemental pickups. And then Golden Tricorn is always good, though I think probably the weakest with stasis. Yeah, other subclasses are a little bit better at getting ability kills, but still not a bad perk. Onto No Hesitation. This is a support frame auto rifle, flexible and agile frame capable of healing allies and hurting foes. Harming targets builds a restorative charge. Hip firing at allies while this weapon is charged heals them. So I'm guessing that's a stack or 2 of Cure. And then with rapid healing, increasing weapon damage and bestowing restoration to your allies. So rapid healing is probably healing like multiple teammates. You'll get increased to weapon damage, and you'll get restoration. So that's very strong. Obviously, Resto is a super strong verb. And then if we look in the left column, we have this one called Physic. Rapidly healing allies grants restoration to you and your allies. So you can kind of get it with rapid healing, where this one you could just get it kind of right away. So that could be really good. And then there's another one that pairs into the whole support frame, and that's called Circle of Life. Rapidly healing allies grants this weapon a period of increased damage. So again, you want to be healing allies a lot probably, and then this will just give you increased damage. This will give them restoration. So that's a really nice wombo combo on this super unique weapon. It's a solar primary auto rifle. It shoots 600 rounds per minute. But from what I saw in the preview footage from like the creators that got to go to Bungie, it's like projectiles. It's not hit scan, so could take some getting used to. Then we have Subsistence, which is a perk I really like. Obviously, it just partially reloads your magazine as you get kills. Ensemble, I think, is kind of useless. I mean, this is a team-centered weapon, so it could be good because you're probably kind of around your allies. But yeah, I'm not a huge fan of Ensemble. Grave Robber, it did get a buff, but same thing. There's better perks. Demolitionist, very, very strong, so I wouldn't mind that. Overflow, I'm not a huge fan of Overflow, honestly, because like you can't really predict when you're going to get ammo drops. And then Strategist, again, we talked about it earlier, about final blows with this weapon generate class ability energy, so that's all right, especially if you're on like a Warlock. You'll get more healing rifts, just really build into that like healing support type character for your team. So yeah, I'm looking at Demolitionist, but realistically I'm looking at Physic and Circle of Life just because it's such a unique weapon. So I would really want to build into that support frame identity. But if you did want it for damage, Subsistence Incandescent is really nice. Attrition Orbs, I already gave my thoughts on. Disruption Break we don't see a lot, but it is a strong perk. But still, I think you can do better. Frenzy is one of my favorite perks. And then Desperate Measures, I talked about, is really strong. And then Surrounded is very situational. So yeah, for me, it would be Physic and Circle of Life, or Subsistence Incandescent, or Demo Incandescent. Onto Embraced Identity. This is a Void Adaptive Frame Sniper Rifle. So Void weapons are probably going to be really good this season because of the artifact, and I'll just show you. I have kept this Fug You around for a long time, and it's got autoloading Vorpal, and I don't know when this happened, but it got dual perks. So I also have autoloading Firing Line, so I can get rid of my Firing Line one. But anyways, this is a 20% buff. And then this is also a 90 RPM, so they're hitting for the same amount of damage. And then because it's a special weapon, it's 15% for Vorpal, where this one can roll with Precision Instrument, which is 25%, but you do have to stack up to it. So yeah, just something to think about. But I would say that the like the damage roll you want to go for is Reconstruction Precision Instrument. High Ground got a bit of a buff. Basically, if you're not above like the target, you can stack it up like Rampage. So that's just some new functionality. Oh, I should have mentioned you could also go Rewind Rounds Precision Instrument, which might even be better than Reconstruction. But for everything else, Permeability, this will just allow you to change the damage type of it. Destabilizing Rounds, I don't think is great on a sniper. Opening Shot for PvP. Attrition Orbs and Demo. Again, you're not really using... Yeah, basically just go for Rewind Rounds or Reconstruction in my opinion. Fourth Time's a Charm is nice for extra ammo, but I think you want to go for damage. Redirection, on hits against minor combatants, it can stack up, but you're not really using a sniper for ad clear. Moving Target is the PvP perk with Opening Shot. I used to have the, I can't think of the name of it, Praetus Revenge with Opening Shot, Moving Target was really crispy. So yeah, that could be really nice for PvP. Box Breathing, nothing special. Elemental Capacitor, depends what you like to run, but again, PvP perk. So yeah, a decent Void sniper rifle for damage if you don't have a Fug You, in my opinion. So yeah, could be worth getting one with Precision Instrument. The Someday is a kinetic precision frame shotgun. So there's a new perk called Threat Remover. Dealing damage with all bullets in a spread increases reload speed, handling, and stability. I don't think that's as good as Threat Detector, which is increased reload stability and handling just when enemies are in close proximity. So yeah, this is kind of a nothing perk and it's brand new, so that's kind of sad to see. Strategist we talked about, but yeah, I don't think it's really worth it. Loose Change, no. Capacitor, PvP, and then Dual Loader is okay. It did lose the like it used to give like minus 30 reload speed or something. It got rid of that, so it just helps for like a little bit more sustained DPS because you can load 2 rounds in instead of 1. But for me, for PvE, I'm going lead from gold. And then Swashbuckler is nice, but kind of situational. Barrel Constrictor is more like PvP focused. Obviously, opening shot, threat detector opening shot, there's your PvP role, in my opinion. Collective action, again, it's a 20% buff for picking up your elemental pickups, but again, those are situational where you can just get a 15% buff all the time with something like Vorpal. Cascade Point doesn't buff your damage, but it does buff your DPS by allowing you to shoot your shots way quicker. So that's definitely something to look at. There was a Strand one from Season of the Deep that could roll with Cascade Point, and that's actually pretty nice on it. So definitely a perk worth looking for. And then Recombination is really nice on Heritage from Deep Zone Crypt. So I'd kind of be curious to either get Recombination or Vorpal Weapon with lead from gold. And Cascade Point would be good too. So these are kind of the perks you want, in my opinion. Memoria is an aggressive frame machine gun. So it's 600 rounds per minute, which I don't think we have any of those in the game. And then its competition is either Circular Logic or this guy right here, Marcato 45. So I've got a Demo Hatchling roll, which is really good for utility, and then Slice Hatchling, which is also nice for utility. And now that I'm looking at it, again, it seems I might have dual perks on it. So that's kind of interesting. But anyways, back to Memoria. It could be really nice, high damage, high recoil. So maybe this does more damage than that Suros frame Marcato 45, which is a 450. Plus the Suros ones have really bad total reserves. So this thing could have more total reserves. So you definitely probably want to get your hands on one of these, especially if you don't have Marcato or Circular Logic. And it gets some really nice rolls. You can see Envious Assassin I'm not crazy about on a machine gun, because this is kind of your add clear weapon. So you're not really building the magazine with your primary. Strategist we've talked about a lot. Really build dependent. To the Pain, not worth it in PvE at all. Reconstruction is very, very nice. What is it? Commemoration can roll with that, and I love that. And then Demo and Hatchling, like I said, I already have a Marcato, so that's going to be like my Demo Hatchling roll, so I'm not really going to go for it. But if you don't, that's very good. And you could pair like Demolitionist with something like Desperate Measures, which if you get a few grenade kills, you can automatically be at a 30% damage buff. So very, very strong. I would definitely go for Desperate Measures, especially on a machine gun, because you can just stack up your kills really quickly. Yeah, really good perk. Frenzy, I love. Also a very, very good perk. Tap the Triggers PvP. Bait and Switch can be really nice on a machine gun just for like an immediate 30% damage buff just for dealing damage with your other two weapons. So that's really good. Though on a machine gun, it's pretty easy to mow down ads and get something like Desperate Measures or something going. Dragonfly is interesting. So yeah, a lot of good rolls on this one. It's kind of just whatever you want. I think Bait and Switch is really strong. And some people like Target Lock, so Reconstruction Target Lock could be good, especially if you don't have whatever that Void one is, the 900 RPM. That's kind of like the GOAT with 4th times the charm and Target Lock, but this isn't a bad roll. So yeah, pretty good machine gun overall, and I'm very curious to feel like how it feels and shoots, because we haven't had a 600 RPM machine gun to my knowledge. Axial Lacuna is a solar fusion rifle, and there's actually quite a bit of competition in the solar fusion rifle category. So we have Royal Executioner, which I have with Envious and Reservoir Burst, which I love. Cartesian Coordinate I've used in so many like solo flawless dungeons with Vorpal, because Vorpal is just an automatic 15%. It's always there for you. Very, very, very good. And then Aramite is also really good with Envious and Controlled Burst. Super strong. But let me see. Royal Executioner is an adaptive frame, where this is a precision frame. So a little bit different, a little bit longer charge time, but that means a little bit more damage, but a little less DPS. So let's look what we got. Eye of the Storm, PvP, Demolitionist. I love Demo on pretty much anything. So that could be really nice, especially if you look, it says fusion rifles grant 20%. So on certain special weapons, you get like 20% grenade energy back for one kill. So that could really be nice depending on your build. Cornered is decent but situational. Keep away, probably PvP oriented. Same with threat detector. Firmly planted as well. Reconstruction is kind of the one that's jumping out to me if you're wanting to use this for a DPS fusion rifle. And then Frenzy is 15%, Vorpal's 15%, like I talked about. Desperate Measures, you don't really want this one if you're going to be using it for boss damage, but for general play, very, very good. Kickstart PvP, Controlled Burst, very good. Like I said, I have Envious Assassin and Controlled Burst on the Eremite. Very strong. It increases the charge rate and damage after you land every shot in a burst. So yeah, after that first burst, you're dealing better DPS because of the quicker charge time and more damage. So very, very, very strong perk. And then Incandescent, something like Demo Incandescent could be really good in the right builds. And then if you're looking for DPS, Reconstruction Controlled Burst. And yeah, maybe Vorpal. Again, I love Vorpal on Cartesian. So yeah, you could even go Vorpal if you want. But yeah, some pretty good rolls on that one. The Call is the Strand Special Rocket Sidearm, which Indebted Kindness is excellent. And I just got one. And then I haven't been able to play the game since because the server shit the bed. So I haven't got to use it, but I did get Lead from Gold 1 for All, which is a very, very good roll. I have Lead from Gold Volt Shot on Indebted Kindness, and the ammo economy on it is crazy. And then 1 for All, you might think it's overkill on these rocket sidearms, but it's definitely not. It's a 35% damage boost, and it's very easy to proc. And there's certain red bars in the game that will be left like one shot with these rocket sidearms. But if you have 1 for All procced, boom, you're going to save a shot and just outright one-shot them with 1 for All procced. So I really like that perk. Same with Desperate Measures. Sometimes all you need is a little bit more damage and you're able to one-shot an enemy. So that extra damage could be nice there. Adrenaline Junkie goes up to 33.3%, but you can pretty much get the same buff just quicker with Desperate Measures, which is 30%. So either one you get is going to be really good. Vorpal Weapon, I don't really want on these sidearms. It's not a bad perk, but I use them for a lot of red bar ad clear, so you're not going to be getting the benefit of Vorpal. So like I said, I like 1 for All better. Golden Tricorn's usually a good perk. On Strand, it's pretty decent. Multi-kill clip, I would way rather just have 1 for All. And then Hatchling, again, this demo Hatchling, very good for like a Threadling build on Strand or whatever. So I would probably want to get myself a demo Hatchling roll, and then I've already got the Lead from Gold 1 for All, so I'm pretty happy. Slice is a very strong perk. It's actually what I run on my Scatter Signal, the fusion rifle from last season. A lot of people run Overflow on it. I run Slice for that sever to target, so they deal less damage to me. So yeah, and it's so easy to land shots with one of these rocket sidearms, way easier than a fusion rifle. So you'll be able to spread sever like crazy. So that's also a really good roll. Subsistence, again, Subsistence 1 for All would be really, really nice. You'd never have to reload this. Not that these rocket sidearms take too long to reload. Strategist we've talked about. So if you're built around your class ability, Stats for All is just a nice like general play perk, better reload speed. And then Beacon Rounds, like Stats for All, 1 for All is always a nice combo. And then Beacon Rounds just helps you hit your shots better after a kill. So honest to God, just looking at this thing, there's not very many bad rolls at all. And these rocket sidearms are great. Plus there's Unstoppable Sidearm on the artifact this season. So definitely get you one of these. Of all the weapons I've shown so far, this is the one I'm most excited about because these little rocket sidearms are absolutely excellent. And the last one we have is False Idols, which is a solar vortex frame sword. I don't think we have a solar vortex frame, so that's like Falling Guillotine. Actually, I think the Warlock has a Warlock specific one. It is called Eternity's Edge. So yeah, I have Relentless Surrounded on an Eternity's Edge, but if you're on anything other than Warlock, you couldn't get a Vortex solar frame. So let's look at the perks on it. Strategist, we've talked about a lot. Attrition Orbs, I don't love on a sword. Wellspring, I'm not usually using a sword for like ability energy. I'm more using it for ad clear. So Unrelenting is nice on a sword. Unrelenting Chain Reaction is a wonderful ad clear roll Duelist Trance, I've never been a huge fan of. Incandescent is really nice. Could also pair that with Chain Reaction. And then Relentless Strikes is good for just ammo economy. And that is actually really good, especially on Vortex Frame swords, because the Spin to Win uses a lot of ammo. And then Surrounded, I've talked about, it's situational. Bait and Switch is a strong perk, but I don't love it on swords. It's a little clunky to use on swords in particular. So you might want to go for One for All instead, which is a slightly bigger buff, 35% to 30%. But again, if you're using it for boss damage, you'd probably just outright want Bait and Switch or Vorpal, even though Vorpal's only 10% on heavies. So probably just Bait and Switch. Surrounded could be good, especially if you don't have a Bequest. But if you have Bequest, don't even worry about it from the Deepstone Crypt. Counterattack, again, I've never been a huge fan of it, and Collective Action, like I said, is situational. So I'm looking at like Relentless Strikes, One for All, Relentless Chain Reaction, Unrelenting Chain Reaction, Unrelenting One for All. That's kind of what I would go for. And then, like I said, Kvostov, there's no like random rolls. So yeah, that is all the new Pale Heart weapons with the Dealer's Choice Origin trait. And I guess I didn't talk about it, but the Origin trait itself is final blows with this weapon grant a small amount of super energy, which is nice, and then equipping multiple weapons from the Pale Heart increases this effect. So basically it just helps you get your super faster, especially if you're kind of built into it. Like you could run this, the support frame auto rifle with the sidearm that I really like and the sword if you wanted. And yeah, then you're going to get more and more super energy as you're getting kills. But it's also not really recommended to run 3 legendaries. You definitely want to run at least 1 exotic, so you'll probably never have more than 2 of these on. But anyways, that's it for the video. I hope it was helpful and informative, and if it was, then a like and subscription would be greatly appreciated. And yeah, thanks for watching. Take care.